Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Murali, Prabhuji, Dandot
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam, Prabhuji. Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji, I can hear you. Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandot Pranams to all of you. We welcome all of you for the today's morning program, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Murali Murari Prabhu, and he will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, and text 20. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam to all of you. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself by reading the purports of Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta purports. With that, I will start my this thing. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranjaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. One caution, by any chance my laptop went off suddenly, which I still could not rectify it, but you will have to wait for 1 minute so that it will be revived. So today's Srimad Bhagavatam, subject matter from 5th canto, 5th chapter and 20th verse. Lord Rishabhadeva was teaching to his sons. Tasmat bhavanto hridayena jata sarva mahiyamsam amum sanabam aklishta buddhaya bharatam bhajadvam shushnam tat varanam prajanam. Tasmat bhavanto hridayena jata sarva mahiyam samamam sanabam akilista buddhaya bharatam bhajadvam turshusham tat varanam prajanam. Tasmat, therefore, because I am the Supreme, Bhayanta, you, Hridayena, from my heart, Jata, born, Sarve, all, Mahiyamsam, the best, Amum, that, Sanabam, brother, Akhilishta Buddhaya, with your intelligence without material contamination. Bharatam, Bharata, Bhajadvam, just try to serve Shushrusanam, service, that. Varanam Prajanam, ruling over the citizens. Translation and purport by Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My dear boys, you are all born of my heart, which is the seat of all spiritual qualities. Therefore, you should not be like materialistic and envious men. You should accept your eldest brother Bharata, who is exalted in devotional service. If you engage yourself in the Bharata's service, your service to him will include my service, and you will rule the citizens automatically. Purport by Divine Grace. In this word, the word Hridaya indicates the heart, which is also called Ura, the chest. The heart is situated within the chest, and although instrumentally the son is born with the aid of genitals, he is actually born from within the heart. According to the heart's situation, the semen takes the form of the body. Therefore, according to Vedic system, when one begets children, his heart should be purified through the ritualistic ceremony known as Garbhadana. Rishabhadeva's heart was always uncontaminated and spiritual. Consequently, all the sons born from the heart of Rishabhadeva were spiritually inclined. Nonetheless, Rishabhadeva suggested that his eldest son was superior, and he advised the others to serve him. All the brothers of Bharata Maharaj were advised by Rishabhadeva to adhere to Bharata's service. The question may be asked, why one should be attached to family members? For in the beginning, it was advised that one should not be attached to home and family. However, it is also advised, Mahiyam Padarajo Abhishega. One has to serve Mahiyan, one who is very spiritually advanced. Magasevam Dwaram Ahur Vimukte. By serving the Mahat, the exalted devotee, one's path for liberation is opened. The family of Rishabhadeva should not be compared to an ordinary materialistic family. Bharata Maharaja, Rishabhadeva's eldest son, was specifically very exalted. For this reason, the other sons were advised to serve him for his pleasure. That was to be their duty. The Supreme Personality God, Supreme Lord, was advising Bharata Maharaj to be the chief ruler of the planet. This is the real plan of Supreme Lord. In the battle of Kurukshetra, we find that Lord Krishna wanted Maharaja Yudhishthira to be the supreme emperor of the planet. He never wanted Duryodhana to take his post. As stated in the previous verse, Lord Rishabhadeva's heart is Hridayam Yatra Dharma. The characteristics of Dharma is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. Surrender unto Supreme Personality of Godhead to protect Dharma, Paritranaya Sadhunam. The Lord always wants the ruler of the earth to be a devotee. Then everything goes on nicely for the benefit of everyone. As soon as a demon rules the earth, everything becomes chaotic. At the present moment, the world is inclined toward the democratic process, but the people in general are all contaminated by the modes of passion and ignorance. Consequently, they cannot select the right person to head the government. The president is elected by the votes of ignorance, Sudras. Therefore, another Sudra is elected. And immediately, the entire government becomes polluted. If people strictly follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita, they would elect a person who is Lord's devotee. Then automatically, there would be a good government. Rishabhadeva therefore recommended Bharata Maharaja as the emperor of the planet. Serving a devotee means serving the Supreme Lord. For the devotees always represent the Lord. When a devotee is in charge, the government is always congenial and beneficial for everyone. Om Tasat. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कथामह्यं सात्विकपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साकरजातं सगगन रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगगन ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च ये कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पञ्चकल्पतरूपस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ॐ महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमपतायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामने गौरत्वजे नमः। नमः ब्रह्मण्यदेवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगत्तैत्याय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम तत्सत। So, in this particular verse, Rishabhadeva wanted his sons to follow Bhagavata Dharma, religious principle in devotion service that transcends religious principle for the liberation and mitigation of the material misery. Human beings should not work hard like dogs and hogs and for the sense gratification. This can be achieved by following the footsteps of a pure devotee, like their elder brother Bharat Maharaj. So that is why Rishabhadeva insisting, please follow the Bharat Maharaj, all of and all the 100 sons of Rishabhadeva. Rishabhadeva wanted them to follow the footsteps of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj being a pure devotee, he will also, he got his principles, religious principles of Dharma, devotional service, and which transcend the religious principles for liberation or the mitigation of the material misery. Okay. The human life is especially meant for the revival of our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And at the end, all kind of austerities and penances should be accepted. By austere activity, one's heart can be cleansed of the material contamination. And as a result, one can be situated on the spiritual platform. When one's heart is cleaned, he will automatically be put into the spiritual platform. To attain this perfection, one has to take shelter of a devotee and serve him. Then the door for liberation will open gradually. Those who are materially attached to women and sense gratification gradually become entangled in material consciousness and suffer the miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death. Those who are engaged in general welfare for all and who are not attached to children, family, and the Soka, they are all called Mahatmas. Those who are engaged in sense gratification, who act piously or impiously, cannot understand the purpose of the soul. Therefore, they should approach a highly elevated devotee and accept him as a spiritual master. Tattudi pradipādayana pariprakshana sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Such a spiritual master. By his association, one will be able to understand the purpose of life. Under the instruction of such a spiritual master, one can attain devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Detachment from material thing and tolerance of material misery and distress, one can see all the living entities equally and one becomes very eager to know about transcendental subject matters. Endeavoring persistently for the satisfaction of Krishna, one becomes detached from wife, children, and home. He is not interested in wasting the time. In this way, one becomes self-realized. A person advanced in spiritual knowledge does not engage anyone in material activity. And one who cannot deliver another person by instructing him in devotion service should not become a spiritual master. Father, mother, demigod, or husband, anyone for that matter. Instructing his own 100 sons, Lord Rishabhadeva advises them to accept their eldest brother Bharata as their guide and Lord, and thereby serve him. Of all living entities, now we know out of these varnas, Chadurvarnam Maya Shreshtam Gunakarma Vivarshaha Gunakarma. The Brahmanas are the best because of their highest karma and guna. And above the Brahmanas are Vaishnavas, are situated even in a better position. Serving a Vaishnava means serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, Sukadeva Goswami described the characteristics of Bharata Maharaj and the sacrificial performance in this particular Bhagavatam verse, executed by Lord Rishabhadeva for instructing in the, mainly it is meant for instructing the general populace, how we will have to follow their footsteps. In the Padma Purana, there is a nice statement praising the service of the Vaishnava or a devotee. In the scripture, Lord Shiva tells Parvati, my dear Parvati, there are different methods of worship. And out of all methods of worship of the Supreme Person, he is considered to be the highest. Worshipping the Supreme Person should be considered very high. But even higher than the worship of the Lord is the worship of Lord's devotees. So, in Bhagavad Gita, it is also stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, in 3rd canto, it is stated, As Sevaya Bhagavata Kutastaya Madhustbhisha Ratiraso Bhavet Tivira Padayorvishan Ardhana. Padayorvishan Ardhana. There is all the distress can be vanished, Ardhana. By serving the feet of spiritual master, one is enabled to develop transcendental ecstasy in the service of personality of Godhead, who is the unchangeable enemy of Madhu demon and whose service vanishes one's material distress. This is in the topic when Vidura and Maitreya in this connection. For Vidura, the association of a bona fide spiritual master like sage Maitreya can be absolutely to help achieving the transcendental attachment for the direct service of the Lord. The Lord is the enemy of Madhu demon. That's why he's a Madhusudana. Madhu. It was stated. Or other words, he is the enemy of the suffering of his pure devotees. Rati Rasa, there is one more word. It is there. It is very significant in this verse. Service to the Lord rendered in different transcendental mellows, relationships, Rati Rasa. Neutral, active, friendly, parental, or conjugal. A living entity in the liberated position of the transcendental service to the Lord become attracted to one of such above mentioned mellows, and when one engages in the transcendental loving service to the Lord, one's service attachment in material world will automatically vanishes. Param drishva nivartate. That's why it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Vishayava nivartante ninaharasya dehinaha rasavarjam raso apiyasya param drishva nivartate. Objects of sense enjoyment, which are, it will be automatically ceases, nivartate, by the param, by the superior things. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste of sense objects always remains, even though you restrict it. But causing such engagement by experiencing the higher taste, he is fixed in the consciousness. So, when you are taking the higher taste, there was a separate book of Srila Prabhupada as higher taste. I had read it somewhere. And he was very nicely explaining. There is one more cookery book as a higher taste. Unless one is transcendentally situated, it's not possible to cease from sense enjoyment. The process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations is something like restricting a diseased person from certain type of eatables. Normally, the patient, however, neither likes such restriction nor loses the taste for the eatables. Having diabetes, if somebody asks me, don't take gulab jamun, very, very difficult, right? Somehow or other, at least a small piece, chota piece, that piece, like that. We will try to do that. It is very difficult. The patient, however, likes neither likes the restriction nor loses the state for the eatables. That is the situation. Similarly, sense restrictions by spiritual process like Ashtanga Yoga in the matter of what is that? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, all that. I am recently studied in Bhakti Vaibhav also, about all this. He is recommended for a less intelligent person who have no better knowledge. But one who has tasted the beauty of Supreme Lord Krishna in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste for the dead material things arise. Therefore, restrictions are there for the less intelligent neophytes in the spiritual advancement of life. But such restrictions are only good until one actually has a taste of Krishna consciousness. When one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses the taste of the pale thing, right? When you get the higher taste, you lose the interest in the lower taste. So we cannot avoid searching for the taste. That is very important. We cannot avoid. There is no way our mind can be stopped thinking about. But we can put it into other way. Instead of this way, that way we can put it. So we'll go for the higher taste so that we will lose the interest in the lower taste. In Skanda Purana, there is a similar statement. Persons whose bodies are marked with a tilaka. This is insisted by Srila Prabhupada also. Mark your body with tilak. Keshava, Narayana, Madhava, Govinda, Vishnu, Madhusudana, Trivikrama, Vamana, Sridhara, Rishikesha, Patmanabha, Damodara, and Vasudeva. So, this tilaka symbolizing the conch shell, wheel, club, lotus, all these marks. One who keep the leaves of tulasi in the forehead, that's what we are already doing, and whose body is always decorated with a gopi chantana, even seen once, can help the seer to be relieved from the sinful activities. Skanda Purana says, by merely just putting your tilak, you can, by the one who is seeing such a devotee with a tilak, the sinful reactions of the other fellow, it will be relieved. The seer can be relieved of the sinful activities. What a great statement by Skanda Purana. That is the reason why Srila Prabhupada insisted on all these things. To see how a devotee is respected, there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam describing the Sukadeva Goswami, how the devotee is respected. It is statement in the first canto itself. Sa samvritat tatra mahan mahishyam brahma rishi rajarishi devarishi sangai vyarojatalam bhagavan yatandur gargasha tara nikatai parita. Sukadeva Goswami was surrendered by the saintly sages and demigods, just like a moon surrendered by the stars, planets, and other heavenly bodies. His presence was gorgeous, and he was respected by everyone. In the great assembly of saintly personalities, who are all there? Vyasadeva, the Brahma Rishi, Narada, Deva Rishi, Parasurama, the greatest ruler of Kshatriya kings, etc. Some of them were very powerful incarnations of the Lord. Sukadeva Goswami was not neither known as a Brahma Rishi or Raja Rishi or a Deva Rishi, nor he was an incarnation of like Narada, Vyasadeva or Parasurama. And yet he exalted and them he excelled them by the respect he was paid. This means that devotees of the Lord is more honored in the world than the Lord himself. Parasurama is there. In front of him, the Vyasadeva is there. Brahma Rishi, Raja Rishi, Deva Rishi, everybody is there. Narada is there. This means the devotee of the Lord is more honored in the world than the Lord himself. One should therefore never minimize the importance of a devotee like Sukadeva Goswami. That's what it stated. So the importance of a devotee, it is felt. So all of us, we should try to follow the footsteps of such a great people, and we should be an example to outside. All the people who are in ISKCON, there should be an example to the people who are outside, so that they will also get into the mode of serving in Krishna conscious. And yet, so this shows how nicely son Sukadeva Goswami served his father. Is it not? His father only written all these Bhagavatam verses, everything. But Bhagavatam were revealed again by Sukadeva Goswami. His father Vyasadeva and his spiritual master, everyone repeating the glorious Srimad Bhagavatam to them again. When Manu, there is in another incident, when Manu about this service, when Manu along with his wife earnestly prayed to his father Lord Brahma to instruct them how they could serve him. Lord Brahma was very pleased, and he said in third canto, Brahmo vacha Pritastubhyam maham tada swasti Tatvam kritistvara yannivarkalena vidasadi meti atmarpanam. Lord Brahma says, my dear son, there is a Manu, O Lord of the world, I am very pleased with you and desire all blessings for both of you and your wife, Satarupa. You have without reservation surrendered yourself unto me with your heart for my instructions. This is Atmarpanam. See, Atma Arpanam. Your heart is, you place your heart for my instructions. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada indicates very nicely a sublime relation between a father and a son. Here, like Rishabhadeva and Bharat Maharaj and his sons, other sons. He says, the father is naturally disposed with good will towards his son, and he always ready to help the son in his progress of life. But in spite of father's goodwill, the son is sometimes misguided because of his misuse of personal independence. It happens in each and every family. Most of the sons, they never like the father when the father is alive. After father passes away, they will remember about them, go on cry. Every living entity, however small or big he may be, he has a choice of independence. That is the reason. If a son is unreservedly willing to be guided by the father is 10 times more eager to instruct and guide him by all means. When they will understand, there is that they will have to follow the other great souls like Bharat Maharaj and others, then only they will be in a position to understand this particular point. This is a day-to-day life in each and every family. When the son becomes little elder, he will object. When a father say don't go, he will go. When a father say don't do this, he will do. All that will happen. It will automatically happen. Nothing for us to train. Elders usually well-wishers. Normally, you should understand that. They are all elders are always well-wishers. When we behave properly and earnestly request for advice, they are all more pleased and they guide us and bless us wholeheartedly. Same thing holds true to the Supreme Personality, Supreme Father, Lord Krishna also. There are two things which is common for a living entity in this world. First is death, 100% sure. And every one of us are blessed with 24 hours a day. So much of time we got. But in a given day, we find so many sincere souls doing tremendous amount of service, whereas we waste our time, so much of time. Compare Srila Prabhupada, a seva at his advanced stage, how much he did. Are we in a position to do it or take the service of Jayaprada Maharaj? Even now, and Giriraj Maharaj yesterday praised him, and the presence of him, everyone will be elevated. That's what he said. Giriraj Maharaj yesterday, I read it in JSS something. So committed. They are all so committed. What is the percentage of work we do compared to them? However, this nature is, this difference is due to the level of understanding or level of our surrender to Krishna, or how much interest we have to serve him. That is the point. They are having so much of interest in serving the Supreme Lord, but we are in a little way, very highly low level. Although, as a loving Father, Lord takes care of all the living entities in the world. He takes special care to wipe out the darkness of ignorance from the heart of his pure devotees. If at all we want to get rid of the ignorance, we will have to surrender to the Lord and serve him, or follow the spiritual master who sincerely seek his instruction and guide them more and more. Sorry. Krishna promises in Bhagavad Gita, Tesham evam kampartham aham ajnanadam tamaha nasayami atmabhava astu jnana deepena bhavata. To show them special mercy for the pure devotees, I, dwelling in their heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness of ignorance, darkness born out of ignorance. So maybe we be obedient children to Supreme Lord and surrender to him without reservation, so that we can properly listen to the directions of the Lord Rishikesha and act accordingly in our life. But why we cannot get the mood like the great acharyas? Answer is there, Srimad Bhagavatam. Evan para vidyena kartatyam pragate puman karmesu kriyamanasu gunair atmani manyate. Because of his forgetfulness, the transcendental living entity accepts the influence of material energy as a field of activity, and thus actuated, he wrongly applies the activities to himself instead of to the Supreme. The forgetful living entity can be compared to a man who is under the influence of a disease and become mad, or the man haunted by ghost, you can compare, who acts without control, and yet he thinks he is in the full control. Under the influence of material nature, the conditioned soul become absorbed in material consciousness. In this consciousness, whatever is done under the influence of material energy is accepted by the conditioned soul as self-actuated. Actually, the soul in his pure state, existence should be in Krishna consciousness. When a person is not acting in Krishna consciousness, he is understood to be in material consciousness. And consciousness, we cannot be killed. That is a symptom of the soul. For the symptom of the living entity is the consciousness. The material consciousness simply has to be purified. You cannot eliminate. One becomes liberated by accepting Krishna or Supreme Lord as a master by changing the mode of consciousness from material consciousness to Krishna consciousness. That's what it is possible. Similarly, we know we are the sons of Supreme Lord. That is a fact. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva yonishu kaunteya sambhavanti muttayoya. All the different type of bodies, they are born of the mother, material nature, and I am the seed-giving father. This is the fact. We living entities, just like father gives seed within the womb of the mother, And then the son develops a body from the ingredients of supplied by mother's body. And when the body is completely developed, the child come out with a particular type of body given by the mother. In the same way, we living entity, we are the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Sosa Akitta, the Vedic information, Arjata. We give seed with a particular part of the body, but Mahavishnu simply glances over the material nature, Mahatattva. He impregnates material nature with so many millions of living entities, trillions of living entities. In the second canto and the third canto, they were discussing about this, how this world is getting created by the just glance of Mahavishnu, and subsequently all the Jiva, Garbhodaya Sai Vishnu enter into that this thing, shell, and so many living entities were put in for action, and so subsequently Brahma create all that. So this is Prakate Kriyamanani Gunakarmani Sarvasaha Ahankara Vimudatma Kartaham Midi Manyate. But the Ahankara Vimudatma, they will understood it in a different way. I am the doer, like that. Okay. But everything happening because of Prakate Kriyamanani. Guna and because of Guna Karmani Sarvasaha. Ahankara Vimudatma Kartaham Midi Manyate. Actually, he is being polluted by the material nature, just like a dog chained. He has to do according to the master's desire. Dog, when we see that the people are taking the dog for a walking, we should understand they serve the dog. Prabhupada says they will have to serve something, but they are serving the dog. But when they are taking the Lord, that dog will be thinking that it is very independent. So it will pull him here, pull him there, all that it will do. Similarly, we are also chained by the Prakriti, material nature, and we are being forced to act according to the dictations of the material nature. But Ahangara Vimudatma, we are with so much egoistic, because he is bewildered, he is thinking, you will find so in so many dogs, how much it will pull and how much it is getting controlled. And they will be thinking, I got a full independence, but actually everything is dependent. Every one of us, we are dependent on material nature. So every one of us, we are dependent on Prakriti. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes the constitutional position of the living entity. Jivera Superi, Krishnera Nityadas. When this is happened, when Sanatana Goswami inquiring, what is our constitutional position? In fact, that we are under the control of material nature. Daivaihe Sagunamami Mama Maya Durataya. So it is not very difficult to get rid of that material control. And we are acting under the control of material nature. However great scientist I may be, or a great politician I may be, prime minister, or anybody for that matter. So you cannot, by your so-called scientific method, you can say, no, I shall remain. But material energy will not allow. It will drive you away. It is not possible. So, in fact, they are defying the authority of God. That's why material energy is controlling so much. In this way, simply tied up by the rules and regulations, the material nature, and still we are defying the authority of Supreme Lord and thinking, I am independent. This is called Muda, rascaldom. Muda. In Bhagavad Gita, it is Gita indicates as Muda. You cannot control the law of material nature. You are thinking you are independent, and the laws of material nature means material nature is the agent of Supreme Lord. That's what you should understand. It is not independent. Real conductor is Supreme Lord, Krishna. Krishna, that's why it says, Maya Dakshena Prakriti, Suete Charasaram, Hetunana Nekundeya, Jagat Vipari Vartate. Behind the material nature, there is God. Under his direction, material nature is working. Shayesya Bhavanani Bibardidurka. In Brahma Samhita, Shaye Yasya Bhavanani Bibardidurka. The material nature power is working just like a chaya, shadow. Under the spell of Maya, we defy everything like a man haunted by a ghost. Where is God? Can you show me God? All these things come only because of our ignorance, haunted like a ghost, right? But Krishna is explaining, Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi sasi suryayo. So he is telling, I am here, I am there, you can find me there. For the less intelligent people, God is teaching that you try to see me in this way. He is actually philosophical minded man is there. He simply makes research. Where is that taste of water comes from? How this night taste of water is coming from? He can see God because ultimately he has to come to the God by do that research. If the researcher make research where the sunshine is coming from, if you want to, if a researcher want to know, then he will say, oh, it's come from the sun globe. But further, he cannot reach there. He cannot reach to the sun globe to find out what is the further thing, right? So we can make, if you are philosophical mind, you can make darshana. Philosophy means darshana. Darshana means seeing, see more and more, more and more. In this way, you will ultimately come to Ishvara Paramakrishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. So you will understand that by doing that. Then he will come to the conclusion, Bahunam Janmanamante Yanamam Prabatyate Vasudevam Sarvamiti Ya Mahatma Sudurlabaha. So if you are actually a serious student, research worker, then after executing research work for the many, many births, when you are actually wise, Jnanavan, if you are a Jnanavan, then you will surrender to Krishna. Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Very, very rare. That's what Krishna himself says. So, infatuated by the false ego and under the spell of material nature, being kicked by the material nature, we think, Kartaham idi manyate. We are the doers. I am doing. I am. We have made so many advancement in research, so much scientific advancement, thinking there are so many things. Not possible. Without God's hand, you cannot do anything. Sarvasya chaham rajase nivishto, matasmiti jnanam apokanam ja vedaisa sarvam mahame vedyo, vedantavit vedagitya chaham. So, without sarvasya chaham rajase nivishto, sitting in the heart, I am giving you the remembrance and the apohanam, forgetfulness. Scientists working very hard to find out some chemical or physical thing. But there are so many things, so many others are working. But unless Krishna from within gives the proper intelligence, nobody can do anything. Nobody can invent any particular thing. Matasmiti chvanam apokanam cha. Krishna gives the intelligence. Two scientists are working. One becomes successful, one is not successful. Both are working very hard. The one favored by Krishna, other is not favored. Otherwise, how you can explain if material knowledge is sufficient, both of them working hard to find out the truth of the scientific discovery, but one is able to find out, other one is not able to. Then how you can explain? The only explanation is that one is favored by Krishna, other is not. Srila Prabhupada is explaining about Marconi's invention of the wireless telegram. He indicates the Marconian, so many scientists were doing the same research of finding out the waves and so many other things, microwaves, so many other things. One of such Indian scientists was Sir Jagadish Chandra Bose. Jagadish Chandra Bose, you may be knowing, he is the elder brother of what is his name? Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose is a freedom fighter. His elder brother was Jagadish Chandra Bose. I happened to visit his house once as a memorial. They kept it, and I saw so much of research. This thing was there. So this is explained. Sri Jagadish Chandra Bose was explaining about this thing about the waves, and other thing. Marconi, once they were discussing along with Marconi. Marconi was a American guy, and what happened? Marconi immediately he submitted a paper, and what happened? The British government gave him preference and became the inventor of the wireless telegram. How nicely! But actually, it was invented by Dr. Bose. So that means he was favored by Krishna, gave him intelligence. Now you take this opportunity, take the theory, explained explained by Dr. Bose, and you publish it. These are the intelligence given by him. The name, still you get the name. Nimitta matane bhava sarshachati. This is the explanation. One is working very hard day and night, and another is enjoying the result. This is even now it is happening. Priyate kriyamanani gunakarmani sarvasaha ahangara vimudatma kattahame manyate. But still we think we are the doers. You may think that you are doing, but you are under the control of the material nature, and the material nature is controlled by Supreme Lord. So, therefore, ultimately, you are controlled by the Supreme Lord. By being spelled by the material nature, he is thinking that. So, we are infected, some prakriti, some guna, some qualities of material nature. We are acting in that way. So, at the present moment, the material nature, material life means we are all working under the spell of material gunai, guna karma. Because Kapila Deva once speaking on the subject matter, Atma Darshana. We identify ourselves as American or Indian or a Brahmana, Kshatriya, cat, dog, whatsoever. Then we shall continue in this life. If you are doing that, we will have to continue in this life. The conditional life of material nature. We shall continue forever. We will be bound, Nitya Baddha. So we are all mostly Nitya Baddhas, eternally bound by these laws of material nature. And we are wandering throughout the universe according to our karma. Urdham gachanti sasvasta. Sometimes we will go up, sometimes we will come down. We can go up to Brahmaloka. But what is the use? We will come down. That is very, very, very common. So, following the Lord's instruction, Abrahma Bhavana Loke Punaravarjuna Arjuna. So, if you go to the Supreme Lord's abode, there is no chance of coming back. Either you go to Brahmaloka or Patal or any Loka, this form of this body, you will have to go through these four principles of material conditions: birth, death, old age, and disease. That is not possible to overcome. That you can overcome only Mamevase Prapatante Mayamevam Tarantite. By get rid of this material natures, that Maya, you should get rid of it by surrendering to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the conclusion is that instead of serving under the spell of material nature, let us immediately transfer our position to become original, means eternal servant of God. Why it is said original? That is our constitutional position. Krishna, therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, that's why he says, Jivera Surupe Haya Nitya Krishna Das. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is explained. That is our constitutional position. We are eternal servant of God, Krishna. So if you take to that immediately, Krishna says, Mamevaye Prabhatante Mayamevam Tarantite. The spell of Maya can overcome if we immediately take the instruction of Krishna. That he says, you surrender unto me and shall give you all protection from the sinful reactions of your life. If you want to get free from the purposeless life of this material existence, Anatta upasamam sakshat bhakti yogam adokshate. When you have to take the bhakti yogam, transcendental loving service to the Lord, you can get rid of all these things. So, Rishabhadeva instruction to all his sons to follow the path of the elder brother, because he is under the bhakti yoga path. In order to get rid of the material miseries by following bhakti yoga, the devotion service to the Supreme Lord, which can make them happy. That's why his father is so nicely instructing them by following the parodharma. Savai pumsa parodharma ador bhakti adokshaje haituvi aprajihada yayatma suprasidati. If you want to be happy, so parodharma will have to follow. Savai pumsam parodharma yador bhakti adokshaje. So this is the ultimate conclusion of Rishabhadeva to his sons. It is not just for his sons, it is revealed to the entire world what we will have to follow. We will have to follow the great personalities so that we will be elevated ourselves to their mood, so that we can, by serving a great Vaishnavas and Acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, Jayapata Maharaj, we will be in a position to elevate ourselves to the highest parodharma. So I will stop it here. Om Tassat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Murali Murari Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for elaborately describing the instructions of Rishabhadev by quoting other slokas and also, sharing Srila Prabhupada's purport from different Bhagavatam slokas, Prabhuji. And ultimately, it comes to Savaya Pamsa Parodharma. And like how, Rishabhadev has instructed his sons, I think you have shared your knowledge and wisdom. You are all like your son. And thank you very much for sharing what you read and also your experience and
Compile.
wisdom. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Devotees, I request you to share, unmute your line and share your comments or questions that you may have.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam, Prabhu. Very exhaustive, Prabhu. Prabhu, I just want to know which is the Bhagavata sloka which tells about how a devotee is respected, Prabhu. One sloka you told.
Yeah, that is a sloka. It is instructing about Sukadeva Goswami. In the first canto itself, it is there. Sukadeva Goswami, when he come to the seat, he is coming. Everyone is getting up. Everyone is getting up and give respect to him. Who are all those? Deva Rishi, Narada, and Brahma Rishi, and all these, Vyasadeva, and even Parasurama, who is sitting there. He is the incarnation of Supreme Lord. Every one of them respecting the Sukadeva Goswami. The reason is being nothing else. He is very young, a very young boy compared to all of them. They are all exalted devotees. But he is a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. And he is going to, same thing what he heard from his father, he is going to give it to them. But still, he was respected in such a way. That's why when a devotee will be respected like that, it is in the first canto.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for the nice nectarian lecture, Prabhu.
Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Prabhuji.
Hari Hari. Very nice, Prabhu. It was so nice to hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you for giving me opportunity, Prabhu. Thank you for that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees, any other comments or questions?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Shri Balaji Das here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much for the morning nectar.
Hare Hari.
One of the points that had come out was the respect for the elders.
Yes, Prabhu.
Now, nowadays we see how the situations are.
Yes.
How do we deal with that in a very candid way, Prabhuji?
Prabhu, especially relation between father and son, I can explain you. Whatsoever father, this thing may be, there's a Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, the relationships are mainly based on the material opulence. Not in spiritual way, or else your character. Guna karma, it is all not respected. Whatever the guna or whatever the karma you are doing, it is not respected. But whereas your material opulence, if you are having a car, if you got a 2 bangla, your son will not leave. I can tell you. He will not leave till he get the car or a bangla. Right, most of these people, this is a material nature. It is hurting them like that. They only by realization. We can come out of it only by realization and understanding, and everyone should be in Krishna consciousness. What is the meaning of Krishna consciousness? You can understand nothing is in our hand. Everything is Supreme Lord. So if you put it in a best way or a better way or a worst way, it is all by the Supreme Lord. No need of you to hanker for something which you cannot achieve. When you are trying to do that, you will become envious. You will become envious of others, including your own father, mother, brother. I had seen so many. If you open the pages of any magazine, you can find son killed the father for the property, right? He killed the mother for the property, grandmother for the property, he killed. Like that's going on, coming. Material world, if you live, if you see that is Kali Yuga's nature. If you come out of it only, Srila Prabhupada, like a great acharyas, they are forming that Krishna consciousness. What is the Krishna consciousness? Ultimately, whatever it is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, you say, Amanitvam, Madambitvam, Ahimsa, Arjavam, Akrodam, Adroham, right? Acharya Upasanam. When you follow all these things, gradually understand and follow these properly, then Apaisunyam, this is all, it will gradually elevate us. It is not just for reading or hearing and forgetting, but we should follow these regulations, and no need of you to bother about the outside world, how they behave. Okay, by keeping our behavior, instead of we are bothering about, oh, that fellow is like this, this fellow is like this, why you will have to bother about all that? Whether I will be in a position to improve myself or not. When you do in this way, each and every one of us do in this way, we will be example for others. Is it not? One Gandhi made an entire dent on this thing, that what we heard. How much it's true, I don't know. But that is a way. Following some great principles, Acharyas, they will be guiding us. So the not respecting and respecting, it is a individual's character. We should be away from all that, and we should be respect to everybody without bothering. Amanina manajena kirtaniya sadahari. That's what we'll have to do, I feel.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So the problem is the focal point, correct?
Focal point.
With
How
this material, there is a problem. Otherwise, we all respect you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Murali Prabhu.
Hari.
Any other comments or questions from other devotees? Prabhuji, Sri Balaji Prabhu, I think whatever you asked about the respecting elders, we could see how our dear Murali Prabhu is showing respect to everyone. The children are always surrounding him. The people who are junior like me, we are also surrounding him, and his peers are also surrounding him. The way he actually treat all the devotees is actually
very true, Prabhuji. Very true.
It's a lesson for us how to. Prabhuji is so friendly and always with a smile. Whenever we go and approach him, I think Prabhuji is demonstrating very nice Vaishnava etiquette. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Should learn from you, Prabhuji, all those
I
qualities.
am learning from all of you. I am learning from all of you how to be lovable by how much you are cooperating and doing all the things. Anyway, it's a bilateral. All we come together, we will enjoy our devotional relations. So when we do that, our focal point is only one, right? Not other thing. If our focal point is in anything material, then we will also get into problems. That's it.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Any other questions from devotees? Prabhuji, I think there are no questions, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
We can end today's class with Vaishnava Pranam.
Panchakalpataru vasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namaha. Nandakodi Vaishnavindu ki jai. Amacharya Dasa Guru ki jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Rudra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Pranam Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Prabhuji.
Thank you, devotees.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, devotees. We will connect again tomorrow morning. Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, devotees. I'll be ending the Zoom session. Thank you very much for
Hare
your
Krishna.
participation.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.